Hi English 101 students, welcome to week 13. This week we're transitioning from the synthesis unit to your final essay. You submitted your synthesis essays last week. I'll have those graded by the end of the week. For this week we're going to be focusing on your final essay. I'm going to be basically giving you free rein for your final essay, but you're going to have to write a problem solution paper with a policy statement, a claim of policy. A claim of policy instructs the reader to do something, so it should have the keywords should, must, need, ought, right? The reader ought to do something to solve a specific problem, okay? And you'll notice that when I provide the video lectures for this week, okay? So what you'll be doing is locating a specific problem in your community or in your life. Maybe it's a hobby, maybe it's something to do with your job, maybe it's something to do in your neighborhood or your community that you want to see solved. Make sure it's interesting and something that you want to write about, okay? So some examples might be putting in bike lanes at MCC. Maybe you want to create a community garden in your neighborhood. Maybe your community has a food desert. You want to create a food pantry. Something like that, okay? Something specific in your neck of the woods, so to speak, okay? Maybe you see something in your job. For example, if you're, one of my students previously wrote about recycling water. She works at a machinist plant, and she wanted to recycle the water to cool down the parts that she was using for the machining. So that's an interesting topic, okay? Something she was interested in, all right? So think of it like that, something you want to solve, a problem that you see on a daily basis that you want to solve. Now you'll notice that the final essay instructions are located right here. I want you to pay careful attention to those. Make sure you understand them, watch them a couple times, and bookmark Monday, November 17th, so you know exactly where the instructions are. So come back to the instructions so you know exactly what I'm looking at. You'll be conducting research, so make sure you watch the research video lecture, and you'll be conducting research for scholarly source. So you'll be using Google and also the MCC library database. Make sure you understand how to use both, okay? In the Wednesday folder, you have some really important video lectures on how to write an introductory paragraph for your policy paper, how to write an outline, and also the presentation directions. Now, your presentation will be recorded on YouTube or some other format where I can watch it. It's part of the SUNY Gen Ed guidelines for this course, so it's required. You'll basically be summarizing your final paper in a 3-minute video presentation, again, emphasizing your claim of policy. And I provide all that instruction in the presentation directions, okay? So we're transitioning to a new topic, a new unit. Make sure you understand what's going on by the end of the week, and make sure you start brainstorming some of the ideas you might have for your final paper topic. You know, just write it down, put it in your phone, whatever you choose to do. I will have office hours this week on Wednesday from 9 o'clock to 10 o'clock. If you have any questions about your previous papers or your grade or the policy paper, let me know. If you have yet to submit your synthesis essay, please do so as soon as possible so you're able to catch up on the work that's required for your final paper. Have a great week. Take care.